Welcome to New York, George. You started your career playing Division II soccer, go down to Liga MX, and now you're playing in one of the biggest sporting markets in the world. Just talk about, signing with Red Bull and what it means to you.
Yeah, no, I think it's just something so crazy. Um, like you say, I started off playing Division 2, where signing for a team like New York Red Bull seems impossible. But I think that the mindset that I've always grown up with, thanks to my parents, and just kind of never giving up and wanting to be a good example for my little siblings. Thankfully, I got the blessing that now I'm here sitting down as a Red Bull player. Very happy, very excited to get going, and just super thankful for the trust that the club has put in me. I think for any player, that's one of the most important things, and the club has given me that.
Next, go to George.
George from the Exchange FC. Um, you're coming onto a team that last year didn't make the playoffs for the first time in a while. Um, have you given any thought to this and the pressure that's going on with this team going into this season, your first season with this club?
Yeah, of course. I think it's been a couple weeks where I talked to the club about coming here, and it's one of the things that I looked forward to the most because, like I said, I think I consider myself a person with the mindset that I don't give up. I always want to win, and like you say, coming to a club as important as New York Red Bulls, coming from a season where they didn't make the playoffs in such a long time. It's of course we know that there's pressure as a group as a team. It's a club that if you're not always at the top, there's always going to be pressure. And as players, we're also blessed to be able to live that type of pressure. And of course, I came here because of the project, because I knew that this was a season where we have to fight for the title, and that's how it's going to be. That's why I chose New York Red Bull.
Next, go to James.
James Burley, Empire Soccer Report. Welcome to the club. Welcome to New Jersey, New York. I just want to ask you about joining this front line with Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting and Cade Cowell. We saw the two of you create some magic against Houston, scored a fantastic goal. Just talk to us about building that relationship and how it's been going so far.
Yeah, no, of course it's super exciting. Obviously, watching Chupo play at PSG, I played with Keylor Navas as well, so I heard a lot of good things about him, and he's such a great person, which I think is the most important part before anything else. And of course, just knowing the talent that he is. I know he came off a season scoring, I believe, 17 goals. And Cade, obviously, we played in the same league in Mexico, and I had to play against him so many times, and just watching how fast he was on that field as well. And I'm just thankful that I have teammates like them, and there's also more coming off the bench. A lot of youngsters that I'm also eager to want to learn from them and want to be there for them as well as part of their growth. So just it's super exciting. I know that it's going to be a fun season with them, and I just can't wait to start going.
Next, go to Voss.
How's it going, Jorge? Voss here with Soccer View Radio. Just wanted to ask you about the team. I know there's been a lot of positive news coming out of the camp. A lot of the players have only said great things about the environment that Michael Bradley's built. But can you maybe touch on one or two of the players, or maybe the coaching staff, who've helped you acclimate so quickly to this team to be able to produce what you've done in this preseason?
Yeah, no, I think it's so hard to name one or two just because even since before I signed, the club has treated me with so much respect, so much so much trust. They put so much trust in me, so it's just so hard. But it's just all the coaching staff ever since I arrived. It's just showing me around. Obviously, kind of putting me into the New York Red Bull culture, which I think is very important. And of course, I have the fortune, the blessing that I have teammates who are amazing people, which I think in the locker room is always super important. Ever since my first day, they've all came and hugged me and showed me around and joked with me about anything, and it feels like a family. And I think that in any team that wants to win, that's the most important thing, and this team has it.
Next, go to Eric.
Hey, George, Eric, Metro Soccer Report. Can you talk about what you bring to the field and how that kind of fits into Coach Bradley's system?
Yeah, of course. So I think one of the most important things, like I say, is the mentality that I want to win even at practice, the mentality that, I want to go out and every single game, playing home or away, playoff match or not, friendly, I always try to win. And just my playing style, it's just super intense. Like I said, I've been talking to a lot of the staff from New York even since before I signed, and that was kind of like what they first saw in me was the intensity that I play with, the aggression, the passion, which is basically the New York Red Bull culture. And I'm just a player that I'm going to give it all for the team. If I have to play goalkeeper, which I hope not, I'm going to do my best. And that's just kind of like who I am as a person and as a player.
Next, we go to Sebastian.
Bienvenido, Jorge. Sebastián Videla, Fútbol City. Teniendo la experiencia que tenés vos en la Liga Mexicana con un equipo tan importante como Pumas, haber enfrentado equipos de la MLS también en la League Cup, ¿qué o cuáles son, mejor dicho, las grandes diferencias o los detalles que podés ver entre la MLS y la Liga MX? Muchas gracias.
I answer in Spanish, right? Yep. Okay. Perdón. No, la verdad es que pues no, creo que no tengo el suficiente tiempo para opinar, ¿sabes? Pero creo que las dos ligas son ligas muy importantes, muy buenas. La MLS es una liga que al final siempre busca crecer, que creo que es muy importante. Y al final, para mí también, como bien lo dices, vengo de un equipo grande, pero para mí llegar aquí es una experiencia muy importante en mi carrera. Creo que en Pumas siempre fui como que siempre me veían como que con ojos de ser el joven siempre, de ser ese niño, salí de ahí, entonces llegar aquí y poder ser un referente como un club tan importante como lo es Nueva York Red Bulls, la verdad es un paso muy importante en mi carrera. Y como te digo, al final, como liga, sé que es una liga muy importante, muy buena. Hay jugadores, pues Messi juega aquí, ¿sabes? Entonces la verdad es que es una liga que siempre va a crecer y sigue creciendo. Y creo que como jugador también es importante ver todas esas cosas.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more questions, George. First, we'll go to Sean Harnett, and then we'll finish up with Segundo.
Sean Harden, Athlon Sports. Pleasure to meet you, Jorge. I know that question was just answered in Spanish, but how exciting is it for you to look around the league and compete against big stars like Lionel Messi, Marco Reus, Heung-min Son, James Rodriguez, the list goes on?
Yeah, no, of course, it's kind of what I had mentioned. Ultimately, it's a league that is always looking to grow. It's a league that keeps growing. Of course, when you have players like Messi, like James, like Marco Reus, and the list goes on, Choupo-Moting, who is my teammate, obviously it's a sign that the league is growing, and it's always fun to be able to compete with players like that. At the end of the day, as a player, I think having the chance to compete with players like this, it's what makes you better. So for me, it's something that is exciting. I look forward to, and I'm just here enjoying day by day and looking forward to having those matches with those types of players.
And we'll finish up with Segundo.
¿Qué tal, Jorge? Buenas tardes. Bienvenido a New Jersey para Tricolor Radio de Ecuador. Hicimos la tarea, averiguamos un poquito de tu historial en México. Aún colegas manifiestan que es un error de haberte dejado ir. Con ese alto nivel que traes, con esa expectativa que llegas acá a los Red Bull, ¿cuáles son tus aspiraciones al final de temporada? Además de eso, hay una gran comunidad mexicana, hispana acá que se va a unir a favor de ti porque vas a llegar al equipo de la ciudad, del estado. ¿Cuál es la expectativa que traes? ¿Cómo te ves al final de temporada?
Sí, claro, creo que al final las aspiraciones mías de todo el equipo, de los profes, de todos, es quedar campeón. Creo que desde el día que llegué y ellos desde antes, porque yo pues, apenas llegué hace 2 semanas, creo que la meta que nos pusimos como equipo al final es sí crecer, pero al final pelear por el título. Todos sabemos, como lo comentó un amigo tuyo, que la temporada pasada pues no tuvieron la mejor temporada. pero la realidad es que yo llegué aquí porque quiero ganar. Yo llegué aquí porque quiero cambiar esa historia y marcar historias, ¿sabes? Yo quiero que mi nombre esté escrito en la historia de que llegue aquí y quede campeón. Entonces es un poco de eso y te digo, la verdad muy, muy feliz y muy bendecido por todo lo que estoy viviendo. Para mí, para mi familia es un sueño y la verdad es agradecerle al club y a todos.